Hola, bienvenidos, and welcome back to Mexico City. In this video, I'm exploring a few different neighborhoods in the south of the capital, and I'm starting here in Coyoacan, which has colonial era buildings, leafy, narrow streets, pleasant gardens, and the houses of some prominent people. The center of Coyoacan is focused on two main plazas, one of them being Plaza Hidalgo. At the moment, it is closed off due to COVID. I'm not sure if it opens later at a certain time, but considering all the tape around it, I'm gonna presume not, but who knows, maybe I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments below. But it is a very nice plaza, benches, obviously lots of trees and vegetation, and a big Mexican flag and a few statues with different bars and cafes surrounding it. Walking down one of the quiet streets of Coyoacan. Similar to Roma and La Condesa, leafy streets with trees and old buildings. Walking on from the center of Coyoacan, and I'm now here at Casa Azul, the house where the famous Mexican painter Frida Kahlo was born in, lived in, and died in. It's one of the most famous tourist attractions here in Mexico City. As you can see, the long queue of people waiting to go inside to see the intricate details of her life. Perhaps one of the most famous women painters of all time. And you can go in there and also get a feel for the general counterculture vibe that is Coyoacan. The blue house is full of little mementos and belongings from both Frida Kahlo and her famous husband painter Diego Rivera's life. The house is packed with various pieces of Frida's artwork, personal notes, sketches, her jewelry, outfits, mixed with various objects that she acquired or created during the course of her life. Frida spent much of her life in pain as a result of contracting polio at 6 and a bus accident at 18, in addition to her despair at never being able to have children. It's rare to see a Latin American woman from that period be so transparent with her vulnerability, and it's where the richness of her art stems from. Ultimately, Frida Kahlo is not just one of Mexico's greatest icons, but an icon for all women and those who have to live with a disability or infertility. She teaches us not just to embrace the world with the hand that we're given, but to thrive in it with our own uniqueness, colour, and personality. Do keep in mind that you need to book a ticket and time slot from the museum's website beforehand. You can't just turn up and go in, as it's usually very crowded or busy, even during COVID times. If, like me, and you're a history buff, then head further north here in Coyoacan to this quiet, unassuming street to visit the house of Leon Trotsky. It's now a museum which is unfortunately closed due to COVID, but this place holds a great deal of history. In 1929, after Lenin's death, Trotsky failed to become his successor, and Stalin eventually became the leader of the Soviet Union. As a consequence, Trotsky was expelled from the Soviet Union, and after spells in Turkey, Norway, and France, he was eventually forced to seek asylum here in Mexico City. However, unfortunately for Trotsky, he was top of Stalin's blacklist. And in 1940, armed men with machine guns came here to execute him. It left bullet holes which you can still see today, but ultimately Trotsky survived. Just 3 months later though, a Spanish communist who had gained the confidence of the Trotsky household came and drove an ice pick into the back of his skull, killing him. This was one of the places I wanted to visit in Mexico City the most, as I am very interested by history in general. I studied Soviet history when I was in secondary school, and the next time I'm in the capital, I'm definitely going to put it at the top of my list to visit. Hopefully when you come here, it will be open, and this is just a temporary thing because of COVID. Working my way back from the north of Coyoacán, and right in front of me here is the main market, which I really like the way it looks. It looks very traditional. So let's head inside for a quick peek. It seems like we've got a bunch of things on sale. There are candles here which are used for limpia, a traditional way of finding out if you have anything in your life that needs to be corrected. People can comment in more detail about what it is, but it's a tradition that's still carried on today. And if we go this way, there are also some flowers and food stalls, pozole, tacos, fresh fruit and vegetables. This is the kind of place you need a local with you, because there's so many interesting looking things that I'm honestly not too sure what they are. Sorts of sweets and interesting looking things beside fresh veg. Lots of places here to grab tacos or whatever you fancy. So let's see, here they have tostadas. That's what's the most popular thing. They have them with beef, chicken, pork. There's even ceviche, crab, octopus, lots of fish available. I think I'm gonna go with chicken with tomato, onion, chili and spices. And to drink, let's go with a classic Mexican drink, jamaca.
En un momento le doy mole.
Okay, gracias. So this is the first one with chicken, chili, tomato, onion, and the other one I've gone for is chicken with mole. Here we go. Tostadas can be a little bit tricky to eat, especially on camera, as they're made of a hard shell as opposed to tacos, you know, with a tortilla. But anyway, let's give it a shot and hopefully I don't mess it up too much. It's not that spicy actually. Little slice of avocado on top with some cheese. Really good. Gracias. So next up we have the mole. So I haven't actually had any mole in one of my vlogs yet, and this is a very small version of it. It's not the proper mole, it's just on a tostada. I'm saving it for my Oaxaca vlog later on in the Mexico trip. But this looks very messy. Mole with cheese and whatnot on the top. Let's get stuck in. It's probably going to go all over my face once again. I'm not really sure what to think. It's kind of sweet. It's got that little bite of chili in there and a bunch of different flavors. It's quite a rich tasting thing, mole. And the chicken is kind of stripped. But overall, it's a good taste, a good flavor. One that Mexicans I know tend to adore, especially the extravagant sauce paired with chicken. I'm looking forward to trying the real thing later on in the trip. And here to wash it all down, I have my agua de Jamaica, which literally translates as hibiscus water. And it's essentially hibiscus flowers used to create a liquid, which is then diluted with water and sweetened with sugar. And sometimes you can add cinnamon, ginger, and it's a very refreshing drink to have with your la comida, with your lunch. any time of the day, especially when it's really hot. You'll find it everywhere, along with horchata and the classic drinks here in Mexico. So here we go. Salud. Not too sweet, just about right, very refreshing, and an absolute must-try here in Mexico. Back in the center of Coyoacán, and not only is Plaza Hidalgo still closed, but so is Jardín Centenario, just next door. It's spitting a little at the moment and it's now quite overcast, so I think it's going to rain according to the weather forecast. You can see the old colonial architecture behind me though, and you can imagine the general vibe of this whole area on a sunny evening or a weekend would be absolutely thriving. There's tons of cafes and restaurants and places to eat, and then you've got traditional trams and big churches or cathedrals just behind, and beautiful gardens. It's got a bit of everything. So I'm going to leave it here from Coyoacán, and tomorrow I'm heading to Xochimilco, the Venice of Mexico City if you like. So I'll see you then. Welcome back. I'm now in Xochimilco in the far south of Mexico City, even further south than Coyoacán, and as I mentioned, it is famous for its pre-Hispanic canals, which essentially gives it a atmosphere that is akin to the past of this city. I will get to those and go for a boat ride shortly, but first a little walk around perhaps some of the interesting areas here in Xochimilco. The central plaza that I'm standing in is empty because it's also closed off due to COVID, apart from one small entrance, and nobody else seems to have found it, so I have the whole square here to myself. Anyway, on with exploring this part of southern Mexico City. I think there is no doubting that here in Xochimilco there is a difference to Coyoacán, which is that in general the town feels very local and a lot of things are quite old, whereas in Coyoacán I think a lot of people invest in the cafes, in the restaurants, in the town, whereas here in Xochimilco a lot of it is people come for the canals and then they go, and that's where most of the money's involved. So certainly it just feels like a neighborhood of Mexico City, far on the outskirts, walking around here, that's for sure. Some chilies here in this place. Look at that. These ones are called guajillo and arbol. Here in Xochimilco today, I'm with Valeria, who's helping to show me around. I'm also going to be shooting a video with her family, cooking some food in her house too. So you'll see her in a few Mexico City videos. Also helping with the translation. Poquito. Poquito. Picking up some mangoes.
Hay coco, jicama, canilla.
Do you want something? Maybe watermelon, something?
Yeah, okay.
Y también me puedes dar una sandía, por favor.
This is how we do fruit.
Yeah.
Over here.
¿Más limón?
Eso está bien, gracias. Y me puedes dar una sandía, pero esa sin nada, dice.
So Valeria here has picked up this mango with what's on it?
Chamoy, tajín, lemon, salt, and a little bit of salsa.
And Mexicans love to add salty, spicy things to their fruit, that's right?
Yes, it's
Okay.
really refreshing. Here it goes.
It's good in its own way. I'm used to mango just being sweet and that's it. But here we've got salty and spicy together. And the ones at the top, which have the most, it's really powerful. You're shocked. Why are you shocked?
It's not powerful. It's really, really sweet, this one.
I'm not offending Mexicans. I do like it. Now down here by the pier, Valerio and I are taking a boat for around 1 hour. They're charging us about 500 pesos for that. You can go for 2 hours, you can go for 4, depending on what you want to see. There's a lot of different deals involved. You'll have to negotiate. Helps if you have someone who speaks fluent Spanish with you to make sure you get the best deal possible. On weekends it's much busier. It's a Thursday today, but there are still some families and friends coming here to hire the boats. We've actually just changed our mind. We've gone for 2 hours, which is 1,000 pesos. Here we have the michelada, famous Mexican drink. We've got sort of tomato juice,
Maggi.
Salsa de Maggi,
salsa,
clamato,
calamato.
inglesa, chile, tajín,
Wow.
ajonjolín.
It's grande.
Sí. Ahí te dejo eso que parte.
Here we go, bottoms up. It's kind of beer mixed with spices and salsa and tomato juice. It's a very interesting flavor. I'm just more amazed by the size of it though. It's absolutely huge. Off we go. A bit like punting in Cambridge, it's quite a skill to learn how to navigate the canals of Xochimilco. And we are on the way on the trajinera, which is the Spanish equivalent of the gondola, and just Valeria and my rider here, our rider. And so obviously masks are off, lots of open space here, which is nice. We've got the michelada beer. It's super quiet now on a Thursday afternoon. Don't come on a Saturday evening because it actually gets very crowded. You can even get traffic jams of the trajineras here. So yeah, we're approaching the mariachi. There's a little stop where they play music, which should be interesting. A little bit touristy, but all good fun.
La vitrina
Típico, tradicional.
tradicional.
Sí, gracias. Déjame venir.
Son de las negras.
Mariachi are joining us.
Pero con ganas, ¿eh?
Claro que sí, que se lleven a su país y vean. ¡Qué mariachazo!
Sí.
Cuando llegaste de repente, mi corazón lo empieza a notar. Cuento las estrellas, lo bonito que sentí, cuando te conocí. Sabes una cosa, que yo te quiero, que sin ti me muero, si estás lejos.
A lot of the history of Xochimilco comes down to the agriculture of these chinampas raised gardens that we're currently passing right now, as the shallow waters provided vegetation and essentially became the base of how agriculture was maintained during the Aztec Empire, which is why it's such a historic place. In fact, today, Xochimilco is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, as it's recognized as such an important part of the city's history.
So this is a small replica of the island of the dolls. The true one is farther away, and you get to see it on the trip that lasts 4 hours. But since we take the one it's only 2 hours, here we got a little replica of what it looks like.
Wow. Valeria is picking up a elote, which is corn.
It's 30 pesos.
30 pesos.
And they have
30.
the boiled one. They have boiled one. This goes with mayonnaise, cheese, lime, and chile. They have the roasted one, goes with lime and chile, and they have the esquites. Así está bien, por favor. Está bueno.
I'm gonna have a quick bite of the corn.
You like it?
That might be the best corn I've ever tasted. It's
Thank
better
you.
than American kind of style corn on the cob. It's charred, that blackened taste with the different spices and salts. It really brings it alive. Here we go, a few ponchos on sale. Little Viva Mexico flag. There are places to grab food just here too, and other souvenirs. Having finished the canal trip, I'm going to end the video here. I hope you found this interesting and it gave you a few places here in the south of Mexico City that you'd like to visit. Coyoacan and Xochimilco are both worth trips in their own right, and I had a lot of fun with the micheladas and beer and different snacks like corn while on the journey. So I'm going to end things here. Much more coming from Mexico City. I'm planning to visit Teotihuacan and also the markets of Tepito. So stay tuned and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.